Hey, Real Showgirl here. Let's talk. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Shayla. I'm a professional dancer and showgirl here in Las Vegas. And as I bet you can believe, I've had a lot of people ask me my opinions on this album announcement. But first, let's start with my showgirl credentials. Right after high school, when I was 18 years old, I moved across the country to pursue my professional dancing career, which led me to Las Vegas, which of course catapulted me into the life of a showgirl. 2 weeks into living in Vegas, I booked my first ever gig meaning a short-term job, and it was at NASCAR as a showgirl. That was the first of many showgirl gigs that I have done since then. But long term, my first ever contract was in the Jubilee Theater that was in Bally's here in Vegas, which is now the Horseshoe. It was a show called Extravaganza. Unfortunately, it's no longer a running show here, but it was one of the first shows to open after COVID, and it was the first show that I had ever done. And of course, with Jubilee closing a few years ahead of that, I had never gotten to see the show, but I was honored to be in that gorgeous theater full of so much showgirl history. It was amazing to be in that environment because even if you went downstairs to where our dressing room was, all of the Jubilee props and set pieces were still there. And if you were lucky and a door was unlocked that day, you could open the door and see all the gorgeous Bob Mackie headpieces, gorgeous outfits and costumes that he made. Taylor actually shot a lot of her promo shots in the Jubilee costumes, the Bob Mackie headdresses, the costumes, the jewels. So I was really lucky that on my first contract I actually did get to see all of those costumes and work in that theater, in that environment of the classic showgirl. Now the show that I did, Extravaganza, it was not a strict showgirl show, it was a variety show. We did a lot of different styles, but we did walk the iconic stage in some gorgeous feathers, and I am so grateful for that being my first contract. When my time with Extravaganza came to an end, I actually took a contract on board one of Royal Caribbean's cruise ships. I was on Odyssey of the Seas performing in a show called Showgirl. So as you can imagine, I got some more gorgeous costumes, the lips, the lashes, the rhinestones, the wings, the big fans. I've used it all. After that contract, I moved back to Vegas and I was in a show called Rouge. Now, it's not typically a showgirl show when you think about it, but I want to talk about that later. So then after a few months of that, I moved over to the show that I am now at. It's called Fantasy at the Luxor. Very glamorous burlesque show. We have the lips and the lashes, and everything that we wear is always rhinestoned and sparkly and glittery. Those are my qualifications. I really have lived the life of a showgirl. I do want to make one thing very clear. I love Taylor Swift, but this isn't a Swiftie reaction video. This is a reaction video coming from the perspective of a performer. So let's get into it. I don't know if the reaction that I've heard about the album and the reaction that you've heard about the album are the same things, but I surround myself with a lot of performers, and she's gotten a little bit of slack on this album. I've heard a lot of, who does she think she is? She's not a showgirl. I'd like to see her walk the walk. And I just like to set one thing straight. You know what? They are right. Taylor Swift is not a classic showgirl. And if we're doing that, I am also not a classic showgirl. It's in the same vein that I title all of my YouTube videos, Day in the Life of a Showgirl, Showgirl Off Duty. I'm not necessarily a showgirl either. If we're following those rules, I'm not a showgirl. I can recognize that there's a difference between being a showgirl and being a girl who does shows. I'm not gonna be picky with it. Showgirl, we're showgirls. So in the same way that I'm a showgirl, Taylor Swift is a showgirl. She just headlined the biggest shows in what, all of ever? I think she can call herself a showgirl, or she can relate to the showgirl struggle. And if we're talking in that regard, Taylor Swift is the showgirl. Sorry. I actually think this album is going to be really important for showgirls because there is very rarely a light in the media that is put on showgirls that is not a negative one. Typically in the media, when you're seeing a showgirl, you are seeing catfights, you are seeing drama, you are seeing like this drugged out old woman trying to maintain her showgirl lifestyle. Because that's what being a showgirl is, right? We're all insane and catty and just love the drama, and there's nothing but fights ever happening in the life of a showgirl. I'm very excited for Taylor Swift to paint a positive light, or a more accurate light. I don't know if this is a bad take, but two of my favorite Taylor Swift songs are You're On Your Own Kid and I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I relate to those songs so heavily as a performer that this album gives me so much hope. Because being a showgirl, being a performer, being on stage like Taylor is, it's not really a relatable experience. But in those two songs, she really highlights the struggles that she personally faces by being a public facing figure by performing these shows. In these songs, she highlights the struggles of a performer. It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional. In You're on Your Own, Kid, she talks about the body image part of it. And that's not something that Taylor's known to talk about publicly, but it is such a big pressure to face if you always need to look perfect. Your body needs to be skinny, but not too skinny, but still skinny, but also have a fat ass, but no, not that fat. I know she talks about these struggles a little bit more in Miss Americana, but I'm really excited for them to be highlighted pretty much as an album as a whole. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart was my #1 top streaming song on Spotify this year. As a performer, the shit that you are supposed to just take on the head and deal with is insane. So I can't even imagine being Taylor Swift and having to take everything in life, everything everyone wants to say about you, because you have the world's opinion on you, not just the audience. You have everyone in any place around the world criticizing your every single move. Because I know from my life, when something tragic happens or something horrible, I'm having the worst day ever, I have to sit in that dressing room, putting on my makeup, making myself look so beautiful, even though I feel like shit, looking down like this and blinking really quick so your tears don't get on your face and they drop to the floor instead. And having to do that anytime anything goes wrong, because you can't go out on stage and just explain that something bad happened today and like, I'm gonna be off. What do you mean? I just paid for a ticket. You can't be off. I'm paying you to entertain me. So it's really hard because on your worst day, you have to get out on that stage, put a smile on your face, make your eyes look sparkly and not from tears, go out there and entertain and make everyone have a good time and be really happy and smiley and cheery, even though that is the exact opposite of how you're feeling. Doesn't matter how you feel. Get your shit together, get on stage and entertain. And not to say that this album isn't going to be relatable to the general public, but some of it is going to hit harder when it's 12 a.m. I just got done with the show. I'm covered in rhinestones sitting in my dressing room. Gonna hit different. And this may sound insane, but I really do think Taylor Swift making an album about showgirls is going to help us out as showgirls a lot. Speaking as someone who performs in Vegas, I happen to know that tourism is kind of down right now. People aren't coming to see shows as much. I think this could be really amazing for Vegas, actually. I can't speak for other parts of the world because I know obviously there's showgirl scenes everywhere. Like Paris is the showgirl place and they're iconic and everyone goes to Paris for showgirl shows. You got Moulin Rouge over there, which is iconic, the most iconic ever. However, in Vegas right now, we don't have any classic long-running showgirl shows. Classic feathers, just walking in elegance and glamour. We don't have a lot of that anymore. And I actually think that Taylor making this album is going to open a lot of doors and also bring a lot of people through those doors. So I'm excited because I love performing to a full audience full of people who want to be there and people who will cheer like a Swiftie. Let me entertain you. Come on, please. I'm gonna make a few predictions based on just the title alone, just titles alone. The Fate of Ophelia, I think, is going to be a tragic pop song. I think it's going to be a really fun pop beat. The tone of it is going to be, I am drowning, you are controlling me, I have no say in my own life. I think it's going to be about the control that she's felt from her labels, from the producers, whatever, from the society, all of us talking about her constantly. I think it's gonna be like, well, I've been doing this since I was young and I'm just a puppet on your strings and you control me and now I'm gonna drown because I can't live my own life. I think that's the theme of that. Elizabeth Taylor, I mean, come on, we're talking about a very iconic, famous Hollywood actress who has great work, but it was all about her personal life and it overshadowed her work, and all we ever talk about with her is her personal life. It's literally how we treat Taylor Swift. So like, put the pieces together. That one's kind of obvious, I think. Okay, skipping ahead a few, Wish List with the little money sign. I think it's gonna be a really fun, ironic song about how materialistic her life is, how she has all of these great things. None of it's actually good enough and none of it actually makes her happy. But it's all on your wish list. You still wish that you were her. She has it all. You wish you were her, but she's depressed. Cancel actually could be a really sad song because I feel like it's a really fun word, but I feel like it's gonna be like, cancel because you made one wrong move. Get out of here, you're canceled. I think it might actually be about the culture of it and it might actually be kind of sad. Hopefully I'm wrong because I kind of hope that that's a very like poppy fuck you kind of song, but I just don't think it's going to be. Okay, and then obviously the title track, Life of a Showgirl, featuring Sabrina Carpenter. I'm curious. I actually don't have a solid idea. It is the title track of your album, but you have a feature on it. Like, it's gonna be a fun poppy song, but I feel like it's going to give that scene in the Barbie movie when she's like, anyone else ever think about death? Like that's the vibe I'm getting from it, but I'm really interested to see how Sabrina Carpenter fits into all of it. Overall, I am really excited for this album to come out, because it's not every day that you look at a piece of media and you're like, me to a T. Like, this is my life exactly. And obviously, on a little bit lower of a scale than Taylor Swift herself, still really kind of niche problems to have. And I'm really excited to hear how it comes out and how she chooses to portray the life of a showgirl. I mean, say what you want, but I love the promo that she's doing for this. I love that she's wearing the classics, she's wearing the Bob Mackie headdresses, the costumes, all the beautiful rhinestones, and just like handcrafted excellence that really went into being a classic showgirl. She's highlighting that. She's in no way overstepping. I think she is very much highlighting showgirls as a whole as best as she can, because she is relating to us and the problems that we face and the scrutiny that the public puts on us that is also amplified onto her times 10, times 100, times 1,000. And with that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video of my perspective on The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift. And if you want more Life of a Showgirl Shayla's version, make sure to subscribe. I post a video every single Sunday, and typically I'm taking you behind the scenes of my show or just my life as a showgirl. So I really hope that I'll be seeing you guys next week. As always, make sure to like and comment below what you want to see more of, and I will not be accepting any Taylor hate in the comments. You can be critical, do not hate. I don't accept Taylor hate, okay? Have a great day, be kind to others, and stream Life of a Showgirl when it comes out. Mwah!